All right, everybody. How are you today? I trust that you're doing amazing from wherever you are. Your friend Raul Luna here from the headquarter offices in Modesto, California. So welcome Instagram, welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube. Hey, I'm gonna be sharing with you how to invest. How to buy real estate with credit cards. If you're excited to hear about that, leave me a message down below. Go ahead and share these videos with others that you know that they can benefit from. And I want to thank you in advance for operating with an extreme abundant mindset for the ones that actually take the time to share these videos with others. All right. So welcome. I'm going to share four strategies, right? Four strategies, not eight, four strategies on how to invest or how to buy real estate with credit cards. All right. So hopefully you're paying close attention. So from wherever you are, hopefully you're happy. You're basically safe and you're remaining yourself healthy. And obviously you're making your fair share of what you need to do in order for you and your family to succeed. All right. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Strategy number one. Okay, and it's a strategy. As a matter of fact, I just want to clear the space for a moment. All right, how to buy real estate with a credit card. Okay, if you don't have a credit card, don't worry because you don't need one. Okay, if you do have a credit card, that's perfectly fine. You're going to be able to use it. And I want to take you, before I share those four strategies, I want to take you to my own personal story. After the crash of 2008, 2009, the last recession, I lost everything. I lost my properties, cars. I lost my real estate license for partnering and doing a joint venture with crazy knucklehead people that I learned my greatest lessons. And I'm grateful for obviously everything that I've gone through because it has allowed me to become wiser in the other end. So just keep in mind that crisis, recessions, pandemics, whether we like them or not, we're all going to have to go through them. And believe it or not, it's going to make us wiser. So hopefully that's the case for you. In my case, the last recession, I literally ended up going into unemployment line, getting food stamps. And while it was embarrassing, I had to go through that and I had to learn my lessons and I had to pay the price. And, I had partners that basically, it was a hard time to, go through, but grateful for it, very grateful. Anyways, why is it that I wanted to share that story with you? Precisely because I remember after I went bankrupt, Chapter 7, 2009, in the Modesto courthouse, I was, basically I was handing the properties, keys, bank accounts, everything that I had to do when you go bankrupt. And I was in court. And when the bankruptcy finished, got discharged, I immediately got approached, immediately, almost within a week's time, by a company that is called Capital One. Have you heard of Capital One? Capital One is really, it's a well-known credit card company, right? And hence the name of today's live is basically how to buy real estate with credit card. But guess what? I got great news for the people that don't have a credit card because you're going to be able to use it. You're going to be able to do it as well. Okay. Now, pay close attention because what I did is I applied for my very first credit card after my BK. And guess what? I got approved. Little did I know that I was going to get approved by Capital One, and it was surprising to me. And then I learned that the reason why they approved me was because after someone goes bankrupt, there is no debt. After you wipe every single debt out there, there's credit card companies that is easier for them to lend you money again because you're clean. You are starting with a clean slate, basically, at least to their eyes. And I will never forget that I wanted it to obviously start back again. But this time I was going to do it stronger, wiser, faster, better. And I was going to make sure that I wasn't going to make the same mistakes that I did. And I started investing in real estate. I'm going to show you 4 strategies that literally you're going to be able to do with a credit card or without it, but with none of your money. In essence, it doesn't require any of your money if you know how to use the bank's money, which is the credit card, and maybe some friends' money. All right. So pay close attention. Strategy number 1, subject to. And subject to, if you're new to real estate, okay, it's when you buy a property and the loan, remains with the property. In other words, subject to, the true meaning, it's subject to the existing loan remaining in place, which means that if you are the owner of the property and basically you want to sell it, but you got a mortgage on the property, then I'm going to step in and buy the property subject to you leaving the loan in the property. So I'll give you, another example. There's situations where maybe a property owner can no longer do either the mortgage payments, or they're tired of dealing with a tenant. And to give you some very basic numbers, let's just say that seller wants to sell their property for $100,000. Okay, let's just assume for a moment, and the loan amount, it's $97,000. Okay, so there's a $3,000 difference. Guess what? You're going to have to pay that difference if you agree to buy it for the $100,000. And you will continue with the mortgage payments, as if you were basically the borrower. Now, that's the subject to. I'm just giving you the strategy right now, okay? So pay close attention. If you're going to come up with 2 or 3 grand, which I have done in the past, you could get that money from a credit card, okay? You can get it from a credit card if you got a credit card. Guess what? I don't know if you've seen, but Capital One is known for sending you this checks on the mail that you would basically write that check under your own name, go ahead and cash it at the bank and use that money to buy basically the real estate, right? Under the subject to strategy. Now, I don't got time to explain exactly every single detail of the subject to, but that's the one strategy that it's going to become even more common in the recession times, in crisis times, right? Second strategy is seller finance, ladies and gentlemen, seller finance. Now, seller finance strategy is where the actual seller finances you the real estate. I've had, in the past, several times where the seller finances 100% of the property. In other words, instead of you getting a mortgage or a loan in the property, the actual seller is willing to carry the note, to be the bank in essence. Okay. Now, if the seller is requesting or requiring you a down payment, that often happens, obviously. But I can take you to a time where I bought my parents their home that we lost back in 2008, 2008, 2009. And I promised them that I was going to buy their property again, that I was going to buy their home again. Not the same one, but another one, this time wiser, smarter. And guess what? It was precisely from a seller finance. It was a property that we bought at the downturn of the market. I think the seller requested, to give them $10,000. And guess what? I was able to do it from one credit card and from friends' money. I think at that time, I think I got about half and half. It was $5 grand, I believe, from a credit card, and the other half, it was from a friend that actually loaned me the money, but it was $10,000. And guess what? It's interesting because back in the days, we were buying them for $70,000. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Now, I don't know what's ahead on the market, but do not be surprised that you can still see deals on the $70,000, $80,000, $100,000, especially in the Central Valley. This may not be the case in the Bay Area, but I can tell you that I bought properties in the Bay Area, seller finance, with zero. Actually, let me take that back. I did one in Union City, California, and the seller did require me to make $3,000, okay, $3,000 down payment. So guess what? Once again, it wasn't, and this was a $609,000 house. Okay, the later on we got to sell for about $978,000. So once again, 3 grand, anybody can have it, but you gotta find those deals. You gotta obviously look for those deals. Not too long ago, we actually bought a property where we only did 3% down on a, I think, $500,000, which once again you could have done credit card money. And some credit cards do have 10 grand. At the time when I went bankrupt, my credit card wasn't that big. It was a small credit card. That's why I couldn't be getting like 15,000 or 20,000. Today, it's very common that you have a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 credit card. And guess what? You can you can ask for a cash advance. You can get one of those checks and write it to your own name and things like that. And I've done it. As a matter of fact, in my second phase, because I've been doing real estate for 2 decades, in my second phase of the real estate career, our fix and flip was actually purchased with a credit card as well. The down payment was done with a credit card. And yes, we got to pay the extremely high interest rates, whatever. But guess what? When you're going to make money on something and you're going to make money and it's for a very short period of time, guess what? It shouldn't matter. You should be more focused into the accessibility of the funds, right? Okay, so seller finance. I've seen it from no money whatsoever to literally very little money to a combination. All right, so strategy number 3, lease option to buy. Lease the property. Okay, you rent the property with an option, with an opportunity to buy it in the future. And guess what? Usually when you're doing that, I did that in a property in Tracy, California. It was a $1.2 million house that I was able to control the contract with a $10,000 deposit. Guess what? It doesn't have to be a $1.2 million property. It could be a property with $400,000 or $500,000 that maybe the deposit is not 10 grand. Maybe the deposit is 3 grand, 5 grand. And once again, it could be credit card money. It could be friends' money. It could be, that you get it from your, your penny saving account or whatever account you got, right? So, and it doesn't even have to be your money. This is the thing. People believe that they got to use their own money. You don't have to. You don't have to. You could use somebody else's money, okay? And oftentimes it's actually better. Strategy number 4. It's a combination where it's a seller finance and hard money. And I did it on a 5-unit building in Merced, California. Let me explain how I did it. So what I did is the seller was willing to carry the loan on a second position. Now, this is a little bit more advanced, but the seller of this building, because he was ready to retire, he managed it really poorly, he maintained it really, really poorly, he was willing to seller finance a portion of it, that he went into a second position, and then a hard money lender came into first position. So basically, in other words, I put 2 loans, okay, and no money of my own was used, which very little money was required, and that money actually came from friends again, but it could have really easily had come with a credit card. So what I'm saying is, these strategies that I've shared with you, I've done them with credit cards and I've done them with friends' money, because it doesn't require a whole lot of money. And guess what? I believe in the near future, you're going to be able to use them. If I'm able to use them in today's market, guess what? It's going to become even more prevalent in the next wave of what I believe it's going to be the biggest wealth transformation in modern history. So leave me a comment down below, ladies and gentlemen. What is it that you take today? Let me know, out of the 4 strategies, which one do you think that you like the most? And maybe if you're already an experienced investor, which one have you done in the past? Okay. Now, go ahead and share down below. Make sure that you share this video with others. Congratulations for being here with me today. Make sure that you stay safe. Okay. Continue to improve yourself, because it's always your results will always going to be measured on how well you're actually improving yourself. All right. So congratulations, a virtual hug. And always remember that you're one freaking real estate deal away from changing your financial landscape. Have a great one. Thank you very much.